If you have been wanting to do an online course, but you have absolutely no idea where to start, then this is the place for you. If we haven't met, hi, my name is Becca. On this channel, we talk all about how teachers can use the internet to actually make some money, because we know teachers don't make any money, and sell their teaching resources and do all that stuff. So we talk all things online business. We talk about digital products. We talk about listings. We talk about email marketing and social media marketing. And we talk about just basically anything you need for online business. So if that's something that you are interested in, hit the subscribe button down below. But if you want to kind of take your business to the next level, the course is the way to go. Courses are a lot of work, but they're also really, really great. So in this video, we're gonna talk kind of step by step of how you go about creating an online course. This is a whole can of worms. So this is gonna be kind of an overview. And if you have questions, please leave them down below and we will see if we can get to them later. If there's a lot of interest, then we can make more videos about it later so that we can go more in depth into different things, because there's a lot. But this is an overview. It'll be nice. If you're like, I don't know if I wanna make an online course or not, then you're gonna know by the end of this video. With an online course, the very first thing that you need to do, and this is something that maybe people won't tell you, is that you need to validate your idea. What validation means is that you need to make sure that people are actually going to buy your course, because courses are a lot of work. So you don't want to go and put all the effort in if no one is going to purchase. So in order to validate, there's a couple of different things you can do. Number one, I would start in your questions, like in your DMs. What are things that you have gotten a lot of questions about? That's probably something you should make an online course about. For example, I teach you how to sell your teaching resources on TPT. Teachers pay teachers. And I have a lot of people who ask me about blogging. Blogging is a hot topic. People are always asking me about it. So I was like, oh, let's make a blogging course. That's a good idea, because lots of people are asking me about it. So obviously people are interested in it. Now, I didn't just stop there. I also started talking about blogging to other people, asking people if they have blogs, what their struggles are, why they don't have a blog, and all of those kind of things. So I can kind of feel out and figure out like what the deal is. And when you do this, you can really get down to a couple of main issues that people are having, which is perfect because you can address those in the course and also leading up to the course so that people are ready. The third thing I did is that I created a freebie that would help people who were potentially wanting to create a blog. So that for me was an email sequence where every day for, I think it's a week, I send you an email and I say, all right, day one, step one, here's what you're gonna do. Day two, step two, here's what you're gonna do. Different things like that. You could also do like a short little webinar, just like a video. You could do a like PDF download, any of those kind of things that are related to your course and maybe would help people before they get started. So someone who wants to start a blog, they can start with my little email sequence and then they can join my course later, and I will flesh everything out and tell them, you know, all of the details and how to keep going and all of that kind of stuff. But it kind of gives them the first couple of steps and a quick win, because they can get their website set up and they at least know what to do now. You could also, by the way, do a paid resource. So this is almost, it's probably better, honestly, it's probably better to do a paid resource, because then you can make sure that people are actually willing to pay for it. So you could do something really cheap. You can do, you know, just again, you could do like a webinar and just charge a little bit of money for it, not a lot, but enough that people have to pay for it, and so that they're like actually committing to it ahead of time. You could also do a pre-order if you wanted to. So you could put it on pre-sale and say, you know, here, we're gonna make this course. I would have some information about it before you do that, by the way, but you can put it on pre-sale and have people commit to it before you ever make anything, which is another really smart thing to do to make sure that you're actually going to have people purchase it when it is done. Now, after that, I started talking about it everywhere. So I decided I wanted to make that blogging course, and I've been talking about blogging all over the YouTube channel. I've been talking about it on Instagram. I've been talking about it in our emails. I just talk about it everywhere. And one, I'm gonna tell you all the secrets. Gracious. One, it gets people ready for what's coming up. So first of all, they know about it. Secondly, they're gonna be more interested because it's not like the first time they've ever heard of it when you're trying to sell it to them. And thirdly, it starts to help me figure out what direction we need to go to. So when I created a video talking about, you know, how to start a blog, or what you need for a blog, or how, you know, blogging for beginners, like those kind of videos. It really helped me from like the questions in the comments and just conversations that people came and had with me to figure out what the problems were, how I can help the most. And it created that dialogue. A couple months ago, I would get some questions about blogging, but it was kind of like, how do I start a blog, or, you know, stuff like that. Now I'm getting a lot more like specific blogging questions, and how do I do this? How do I do that? What are good things for that? And so it's creating that dialogue that people are like, oh, hey, I can come to Becca when I have blogging questions. So those are ways that you can validate your course. There's obviously lots of different things that you can do along with this, but this is kind of like the shortened version. And so start by validating and just make sure that people are interested in what you do, because the last thing you want to do is spend a ton of time and effort and brain space and tears and then nobody buy it. So make sure that people are willing to buy before you create it. Okay friends, now step number 2 in figuring out your online course is that you need to figure out what you're actually going to put in it. So you want just kind of like a rough outline of what is going to be available in your course, even if you're going to make it as you have people already in it, because you really want to make sure that people know what's in it and are expecting something, and you can tell them this is what's going to be in it. So I'm really old school, as y'all know, so I just grabbed a notebook to plan out my blogging course. And online courses are typically set up into modules. Think of them kind of as like chapters in a book. So I just went through and I wrote down what I thought were the most important like key topics, like the key chapters that they would be if there was a book. And then I wrote down specific videos underneath that. That's kind of how online courses are set up. You have like a module and then you'll have videos, or you might have other things. Usually they're videos, but you could have like PDFs and all of that kind of stuff. So just think of like topic and then what you would actually do, just like an outline if you were writing an essay or a book. And then once you start writing, you'll kind of be able to figure out like, oh, I could maybe combine these two, or these need to be separate. And you can kind of see like some of them are super long and some of them are super short, and you can kind of play around with it from there. I used my notebook obviously, and I use my favorite friction pens, which are erasable. I'll link them down below because they're the best. Y'all, I found, I think it's a 15 pack. Is that what it is? Yeah, a 15 pack, and it has all of these super cool colors. So it has like this like golden yellow and it's like burgundy. You don't care. Anyway, you could also do this online. You could use, like, I've heard people use Trello boards. I've heard of people using sticky notes and organizing it that way, so you can have like all your sticky notes being a video or a piece of your course, and then you can organize them kind of into like chapters vertically, if that makes sense. And then you can really easily move things around. You could do it in Docs, I guess. You could do it in Google Slides. That's how I would prefer to do it, because then you can move things around easily. But those are just a couple of different options for how to plan out your course. So when you're planning out your course, I would highly recommend that you really think about objections that people have. So I mentioned that I have already been having this whole conversation about blogging, talking about blogging with people, and one thing that has come out of that is that I know what the objections are. So I know a lot of people are concerned about time and how much time it takes, and so I have a whole module on time-saving tips because I know that that's a concern, so I want to make sure that I address that. Another thing that people were concerned about was not knowing how to set up a website. So we have a module that's going to be all about setting up a website. And we have a module all about marketing, because people don't know how to market their blogs. We have a whole module dedicated to how to make money with your blog on Teachers Pay Teachers. So I'm really thinking like, what are, one, the objections people have that I need to kind of squash, and two, what are like the main things that I know they need that maybe they don't know they need. Because I'm gonna be honest, they're coming to me because they're like, I want to make money with my blog. I'm over here saying you need to build a content machine to make that blog feed everything else, and you know, different things like that that I'm like, I know is more important than maybe they don't realize is more important. It's kind of like you got to draw them in with the fun things and then hit them with the things they actually need. You do also need to know how to make money with your blog, but it's just kind of funny. I'm like, what are the things I know they need, and then what are the things that I know they want? And you want to kind of have a mixture of both. For example, I follow a girl on YouTube who she runs a course called the Bossgram Academy, and she markets it as like how to be a coach on Instagram, but the course actually includes a lot of like business strategies and like meat and potatoes kind of thing, but she talks mostly about the Instagram part because people want the Instagram part, and then when they get in for the Instagram, they're like, oh, this changed my mindset, oh, you know, all these different things that they didn't realize that they needed. So step number 2, outline your course. All right, now that you know what you want to actually talk about, you need to decide how you're gonna make the course. So is it going to be a video course? Is it going to be an audio course? Is it going to be PDFs? Are you going to do printables? You want to think about all of that kind of stuff. Personally, from what I have seen, it looks like most courses that kind of do well typically tend to be video courses, and then they usually have some sort of printable or different things like that that people can use. That can be something extra or like a checklist or things that are helpful, or you can use it as kind of like the key points of your presentation of your course. Either of those things are fine. Then you need to decide where you're going to host it. So there's lots of different places you can. I went with Teachable, and I have been very, very happy with them. I've used them for all of my courses so far and love them, so I'll link them down below. It's super, super easy to use, so I will show you how to do that in a second. But before we get to that part, you do need to actually like create the content. So I will usually take my list of all the content that I need to create, and I'll pick a module or 2 or maybe 3 to film every couple of days until they're all done. So I'll just sit right here, prop up my camera, although I've heard of people using their phones for this, so don't use that as an excuse. And I just go through whatever it is that we need to go through. If you don't want to show your face as much, you could do something like maybe do a presentation and do a voiceover, and so people have the key points on the screen instead of staring at your face. That is totally fine too. I know that Loom is a like screen recording software that people like to use. I think it's the one that leaves like the little picture in the bottom. I use QuickTime when I'm recording my screen because I have a Mac, and there's lots of different recording things you can use. So you could do like screen recordings if you prefer, or you can actually show your face if you would prefer that. Either one is fine. After you do the videos, you're then gonna want to edit them and make any of those printables that you would want to have in your thing. If you're like, Becca, I don't know what printables to do, I'll show you a couple that are in my book, Level Up Your Teacher Business. So a couple of, basically I did write a book to go along with my course, but all of these are in like a printable file. So anything that people need to write down, anything that people need to kind of map out. So for example, like the social media calendar, this is a printable that people can print out and have, that's under where we're talking about social media and content and all of that good stuff. So those are kind of things that you might want to do as printouts. The other option again would be to be kind of like the quick facts of your course. So if you're having a module that's talking about like how to do math centers, then in your printable, then you could do like, here are the key points of how to do math centers. The idea being that people that can then print that out, they can either take notes on it if they want, or they can just keep the paper, and that will help them remember things in the future. Okay, so this is honestly the easiest part of creating your online course, is actually just sticking all your stuff in here. Especially if you did it the way that we talked about, where you kind of outline it first and you go through, then it is super easy. You're just basically plugging and playing. So this is what the back side of the Teachable dashboard looks like. I clicked on a random thing so that it wasn't like, oh look, here's money. And so right here next to products, I'm just going to click this little plus, and then you can pick if you want to do a course or coaching. So I'm going to click course, and then you're going to add in some information. So I'm going to change this later once I've had more time to think about it, but for now we're just going to call it blogging so that I can remember what it is. Then we're just going to click create course, and this is what it's going to look like. So each of these little sections is going to be a module. You can see how it's kind of indented here. That means that this is a lesson inside of the module, or a lecture inside of the section, whatever you want to call it. In order to add a new section, or a new lecture, all you gotta do is click add new lecture, and then you can click here, click up here to change the title. And then you can add files by either dragging them here, or by clicking on add file. You can click on it and then upload it that way, or again, drag it. You can add text. So if you want to add more information, you can even link to things. So if you need to link to other websites, you can do that really easily. You can add quizzes so that people have to quiz themselves before they can go, but it does say you can only do 1 quiz per lecture, so just 1 for each little section. I know nothing about coding, so we're not even going to pretend like I know anything about that. And then you can add upsells if you have a higher priced plan than I have, but I don't. So I usually will just drag the video here, and then I will upload any PDFs, and you can do more than 1. So if let's just add a random video. Okay, so if I was going to add this video, which I wouldn't because that would be super random, I would just click it like that and then click upload, and it's going to think for just a little while. It depends on how long it is. It might be a couple minutes. I would suggest, by the way, making sure your videos are pretty short. 1, because it's easier for people to digest, and 2, because I have had Teachable tell me that my video was too long and it didn't fit before. So do be aware that that could be an issue that you run into. Okay, so right now it's going to look like this, and then you can also add anything else you want. So you can add audio, you can add another video, you can add a PDF. I wouldn't, by the way, add 2 different things of audio because I feel like that would be weird. Here is a random picture. Beautiful. Upload. Okay, so if this is what my lecture was going to look like, it would look like this. There would be this picture here on a slide, which is a good idea. You could do slides as kind of like your lecture notes or main ideas if you wanted to, and then there would be a video. Now, why on earth I would want a video about the opera Carmen and a picture of a Hawaiian scene with solfege on it, I don't know, but you know, there's that. You can also turn on comments if you want to, so that people can talk to each other. You can keep adding other things here, but try to keep it as minimal as possible, because that's the whole idea of having the module idea, is that you have like, here's one short thing, and each lesson should be pretty quick so that people are less overwhelmed. So I would break it down more this way than having multiple videos in one little section. That might just be a personal preference. If you want to add a new module or a new section, just click up here where it says new section. Type in the name. And now you have 2 modules. Now you'll notice if I click here, nothing happens. The only thing that is right here, this is just the title. Same thing here, this is just the title. So you can't put anything under there. You have to go into the lessons for that. You can easily delete by just clicking delete. And one more thing you need to know is that you have to actually make the modules published. So if I click here, now it's green, that means it's published and anyone who is in the course can see it. So if you are maybe working on a course, or you're doing like 1 module a week, or you're pre-selling the course, then you can leave them unpublished until you're done, and then you can just click on whichever ones you want to do. Or if you want to add another section but you're like working on it, all of those things are possible. So that's kind of how you upload in there. It's super, super simple. That's why I love Teachable, because it's just so easy. You can also come in here and add pricing. So to add pricing, you just click add a pricing plan, and then free one-time payment plan or a subscription where they have to pay monthly. And then it's going to ask for your title and to make your price, basically. You can add bumps, which are like little extra things. You can do a drip. Drip is where it goes out like at different times, so you can schedule them, which is really awesome. You can check out comments. You can also add coupons. So if you want to do like a launch coupon, these are coupons I've had in the past, and this is my friend, that's why it says 100% off all courses, because she wanted to start TBT. So I was like, here, you can just have everything. So yeah, that's kind of the main thing. One more thing we're going to talk about before I turn you over is that right here, this is where we were in course curriculum. The other thing you want to work on is your sales page, which is going to be right here under information. You're going to click on pages, and then this is going to be your sales page. So click on edit, and you'll see that this is going to be like super random because I haven't done anything to it. So all of this is customizable. It's super easy. Again, I love how simple Teachable stuff is. And so you just come in here, you click on what part it is, and you can change out the picture, you can change the words, you can change the fonts, you can change all that stuff. And if I was like, I want this down here. Ooh, now it's down there. And you can add new blocks. So if you don't want some of these, you can delete them. You can add new things and all of that stuff. The sales page, why I wanted to tell you this, is that is how you actually get people to purchase. So you would want to come over here and click copy URL link, and then that is the link that you would give people for them to actually go and check it out and then purchase. You can also edit your checkout page and your thank you page. I like to add kind of like next steps and what to expect on the thank you page. So that's kind of an idea of what you could do. And yeah, so that's pretty much all you need to know about uploading. All right, friends, so once you have all of that done, your screen recordings are done, you have everything up in your Teachable account, then you're going to want to actually sell your course. So actually selling your course is both the easiest and the hardest part of your course, because your course is now done. You don't have to work on it as much anymore. You might still tweak things, but like the meat is there. And now you need to actually get people to purchase. So the easy part of doing that is the sales page. You wanna make a sales page. This is something you can do on Teachable for free. It's included, it's really super easy. And you wanna really hammer in the results that people are going to get out of your course. So in that, you wanna make sure that you talk about what's in the course, of course, but really think about like why people should take it and what their outcome is gonna be. What is their life gonna look like on the other side versus what does their life look like now? Kind of what's that transformation going from? Are you gonna help them be less stressed when they're done because they know what to do? Are you going to make things nice and easy? Is it just gonna be like, is it gonna help them to have a classroom where everybody's learning? What is it that you are actually producing? What's the outcome that they're getting from your course? So after your sales page is done, then you actually want to go and sell your course. So in order to make sure you have that, my first place would be your email list. So make sure that you have an email list. If you don't, then start building one now and sell to your email list. Talk to them, tell them all about the course, what the course is about, and all of that kind of stuff. And also any social media that you have. If you're on YouTube, you know, use that too. Whatever you've got, use it for these sales. I suggest doing sort of a like launch week. A lot of courses do like the open and close model, so you can only purchase them at certain times. Other courses are evergreen, which means they're always available. But if you are gonna do an evergreen, I would do kind of like a launch price so that there's an incentive to buy now versus being like, oh, that's cool, maybe I'll buy that like later on. It's more like, no, you need to actually purchase right now. Whichever way you wanna do it is fine, but that's how you actually get people signed up for your course. Now, long term, if you don't wanna do the open and shut model, then you would put your course on evergreen. Now, what that means is that either one, it's just available all the time for people to purchase, or two, an even better way to do it is it's available, but you're really promoting it through a funnel. So if you just have it all the time available for purchase, that's kind of like selling your stuff on Etsy or Teachers Pay Teachers, where it's just like, it's here, buy it if you want it. If you don't want it, great, that's fine too. And then you can talk about it, you know, periodically and mention it and all of that kind of stuff. The other way to do it, which is I feel like more typical of courses, and that is to have a sales funnel. So a sales funnel, basically, like think of a funnel like this. A funnel is basically just a way to help people decide whether or not they want to purchase and kind of give them a reason to purchase right now. So if you're gonna do a funnel for your course, what you wanna do is have some kind of traffic. So whether that is from YouTube, from your blog, from joining your email list, from Instagram, whatever, but some kind of traffic where people can find you. And then a way for them to opt in. So think like either a really cheap product or a freebie is probably even more common. This could be a PDF, this could be like a webinar, this could be any of those kind of things, just something free that people get that's related then to your course, or maybe even what they need before they get to your course. Then after that, you can send them a series of emails and eventually you're gonna ask them to purchase your course. So that's what, if you ever hear people talk about an evergreen funnel, that's what an evergreen funnel is. So anytime, you know, you talk on YouTube about this blog, or you talk in your blog post about this freebie that you have, people click on the link, hopefully go and get your freebie, and then it sets off this series of emails to help them then purchase your course. So there you have it, course making in a nutshell. Obviously there's a lot more. Each of these steps can be broken down into a separate videos. We could get really in detail, but this is kind of like the overview of how to create a course. So if you're like, I don't know if I want to create a course, then now you at least know what you're looking at. If you are interested or you have more questions, definitely leave them down below and we can always talk about them again on a later date. page, but especially if you are a TBT seller and you're looking to make more money in the summer, courses are where it's at because teachers actually have time in order to do PDs. So they will have, you know, a time abundant in which they are happy, or maybe not as happy, but some will be happy to spend it doing a PD over the summer and learning more through your courses. So leave your questions down below, and anything else that you have, you can come check me out on Instagram. We can talk there. It's at Becca.e.davis. And yeah, feel free to send me a message over there if you have any more questions. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.